At first glance, life insurance sounds like a good deal. So good that 23% of Americans who buy life insurance buy it purely as an investment to save for retirement. But is it even worth it to get life insurance at all? Well, in this video, we're going to dive in and see if life insurance is worth it for you and why you might want to consider other investments for retirement. The main purpose of a life insurance plan is to pay out money to your loved ones and dependents when you pass away. In exchange for monthly payments to the insurance company, also known as a premium, the life insurance company promises to pay out a certain amount of money to your designated beneficiaries in the event that you pass. There's all different kinds of life insurance policy structures out there, but they boil down to two main types: term life insurance and permanent life insurance. With term life insurance, the coverage lasts for a set period of time, typically 20 to 30 years, and usually has much cheaper monthly premiums. With permanent life insurance policies, like whole life insurance for example, the coverage lasts for the rest of your life, but they also come with much higher premiums. When you hear about people using life insurance plans as an investment, this is usually what they're referring to. Part of that premium goes to what's known as a cash value component of your plan, which you can borrow money from while you're alive, and the money that's in it grows tax deferred. But while this sounds great, there's some definite catches. Let's start with that tax deferred growth. Now, there are many different types of permanent life insurance policies out there, and each of them differ in how the cash value grows, but in most cases, the growth rate is a fixed rate that the insurer sets, and this is usually about 1.5% per year on average, according to Consumer Reports. Now, when you consider that in the US, the Federal Reserve targets about a 2% annual inflation rate, this means that the cash value component on an average whole life insurance policy doesn't even keep up with inflation and actually gets weaker over time. On top of that, let's talk about the withdrawals. For starters, the cash value of your policy isn't typically passed on to your beneficiaries in the event of your passing, but if you withdraw from that cash value and pass away before paying it back, the amount you withdrew is deducted from the payout your beneficiaries would get. So in other words, the cash value of your policy can't really help your beneficiaries, but it can hurt them. And I don't know about you, but to me that seems like a one-sided deal and not in your favor. Finally, aside from the cash value component, the premiums on these plans are typically astronomical. Compared to a term life insurance policy with the same death benefit, a permanent life insurance policy can have premiums over 15 times higher. That's extra money that could be invested into low-cost ETFs. To put numbers to this, let's take an example from Investopedia. A healthy 30-year-old is deciding between a term life insurance policy and a permanent life insurance policy. The term policy is a 20-year term policy with a death benefit of $1 million for about $480 a year. On the other hand, the permanent policy also has a death benefit of $1 million, but costs $9,370 a year. If the person went with a term policy, then after 20 years, they would have only paid about $9,600 in premiums. But if they went with a permanent policy, then after 20 years, they would have paid a whopping $187,400 in premiums. And this is especially jaw-dropping because if this person went with the term policy and invested the $8,890 difference in an S&P 500 ETF each year, at an average 8% annual return, they would have over $420,000 in investment value before taxes. So by now, I hope it's clear why I'm not a fan of permanent life insurance policies, but that doesn't mean it's never worth it to get life insurance. There are situations where it makes a lot of sense to get a term life insurance policy, but before I dive into those, if you're finding this video helpful so far, don't forget to toss it a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Now let's dive deeper into term life insurance policies and whether or not it's worth it for you. Like I mentioned in the beginning, with term life insurance, the coverage lasts for a set period of time and usually has much cheaper monthly premiums than permanent life insurance. Sometimes employers offer it for free as a perk, and in those cases there's no reason not to take it, but if you're paying for it yourself, consider these things when deciding if you need a term life insurance plan or not. The first consideration is dependence. If you have anyone who depends on you financially, then that loss of income could create hardship for them. And this doesn't only have to mean children, spouses, or aging parents. It could also mean business partners or loan co-signers that depend on you financially to keep up with their obligations. Like if you share a mortgage with someone that couldn't afford it without you, a term life insurance plan could be a great safety net. Next, you should consider getting life insurance if you expect to pay more for it later. The younger and healthier you are, the lower your insurance premiums will be. So even if you don't have dependents, it's worth considering buying a policy to lock in lower rates while you're young. Finally, you should also consider it if you have debt with guarantors. If you have debt with guarantors like some student loans and you pass away, then the guarantor would be on the hook for your debt. Unless you have assets that would be able to cover those debts, it might be a good idea to carry enough life insurance to cover that debt. Now, I might not have gone over all of the situations where a term life insurance policy is worth it, so if you have other reasons in mind, let me know in the comments. But with that, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and smash that subscribe button to see more videos like this one.